good morning, everybody. I'm Rob Evans, and welcome to Daybreak Plus. We're recapping all the local news you missed overnight, and then we go deep into the topics that actually matter to you. And we begin with an all-night and all-morning debate on education savings account. The Texas House Public Education Committee just now wrapped up 23 hours of public testimony. The House Committee on Public Education started at 8 a.m. yesterday, and it literally wrapped up about 30 minutes ago at 6:30 this morning. Now, ESAs, more commonly known as school vouchers, are a top priority this legislative session. The idea is to allow taxpayer dollars to go to families to pay for private schools. Now, under House Bill 3, students would get money for private school tuition equal to 85% of the average state and local funding the public schools get. So the amount for ESAs could actually change over time. Supporters have argued that they would serve as a tool to help low-income families, but critics argue it would impact public schools and create financial instability. Now, Mary Castle is with a group called Texas Values Action. Here's what she had to say.
It has long been argued that parents' fundamental rights are guaranteed by the 14th Amendment, which is why many states, including Texas, have considered passing a parent's Bill of Rights. Each parent knows their child. They know their child's abilities and limitations, their likes and dislikes, their life experiences and lack thereof, and much more. A parent should have the option to choose what is best for their child. That could be a public school, but that is not always the case.
Lastly, I want to paraphrase conservative Republican Senator Robert Nichols in his opposition statement related to the voucher bill, Senate Bill 2. A voucher program is not fair to the children and parents of Texas. There will be little oversight of how public funds are spent. It will create constitutional questions about the separation of church and state.
Now, the plan would allocate $1 billion towards education savings accounts. If the state does get more applications for education savings accounts than what it has money for, students living below the poverty line and special education students would be prioritized. Now, as we've been talking about, passing an education savings account is one of Governor Greg Abbott's top priorities, and it was last session as well, so much so that he actually campaigned against his own Republicans who didn't back the bill last year. The governor helped get enough pro-voucher Republicans elected so that now he has the votes, or at least he believes so. But ESAs are still a tough sell in rural communities. When Representative Cody Harris hosted a town hall event in February, he was met with boos and frustration from his constituents. Harris is the co-author of the House's ESA bill, and some people at the town hall said they felt betrayed by his support of those actions. This past Sunday on Texas This Week, KVUE's political director Ashley Godot sat down with Scott Braddock. He is the editor of Harmony Kronberg's Quorum Report, and she asked if the governor really does have the votes to pass this ESA. Take a listen.
Not sure. The bill that's been filed in the House, that's HB 3 for people who are keeping up with this, supposedly it has enough support to pass in the form it's in now. But as this goes through the legislative process, as you know, there will be changes made to it, and you can either gain support or lose support based on what kind of changes end up being made. And I think, you know, in the House.
You can always see Ashley's interview with Scott Braddock right here on KVUE Plus, which you've already downloaded on your TV and watching for free, but let all your friends know you can do this as well. Meanwhile, the Department of Education begins mass layoffs. It's aiming to cut its workforce nearly in half. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio breaks down who will be affected.
This is that time when all of us have to stand up for public education in this country.
This morning, the president of the biggest education union in the U.S. slamming the Trump administration as the Department of Education begins laying off more than 1,300 employees.
Firing half of your workforce without cause, we know necessarily will mean there will be cuts to services that our students and families need.
President Trump has vowed to dismantle the education department, calling it a con job and vowing to give states more control over schools. Education Secretary Linda McMahon says the agency will continue to oversee federal aid and student loan management.
We want more money to be able to go to the states, and that's what the president has said all along.
Teachers fear gutting the department will leave vulnerable students even more vulnerable.
Whether that's safeguarding, racial minorities to make sure that educational outcomes are equitable for them. I mean, I think it's across the board.
But McMahon says it's time to eliminate bureaucratic bloat.
Well, clearly we're not taking away education. The president never said that. He's taken the bureaucracy out of education so that more money flows to the states.
Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
It is now 7:06, and just another reminder to leave nature alone. A bat captured in Cedar Park has tested positive for rabies. Now, this rabid bat was found near a neighborhood near the Highway 183 Toll Road and Brushy Creek Road. That's right near the Brushy Creek walkway and path and bike trail as well. People believe that some people, or police rather, believe some people did have direct contact with that infected bat. And the CDC advises anyone who touches a bat, one, don't touch a bat, but first, wash yourselves with soap and water before you seek medical attention. Leave those bats alone. All right, it is a 7:07 right now. Let's get a weather and traffic start with Grace and Hannah. Grace, how are we looking outside?
Hey, good morning, Rob. Yeah, we are tracking a weather impact alert for today. Make sure that you got your fire weather preparedness plan in place, or at least you're thinking about it as you head out to work and school this morning. We've got some clouds over the area for the moment. Very warm temperatures as you're stepping out the door, 63 and 62 degrees. Humidity is high for now, but will be falling as we head through the day today. We are anticipating a cold front coming from the Pacific side, so it's not really going to impact our temperatures too much, but it will bring in very blustery conditions and dry conditions, which we'll have to watch for wildfires to spark this afternoon. As for those temperatures across the map, we're sitting in the 50s out towards the hill country, 52 in Llano, coolest spot on the map there. Warmer spots on the map, Bastrop at 63 degrees, as well as Giddings. About 15 degrees warmer than where we were yesterday. As we head into the afternoon, expect even warmer conditions than what we saw yesterday. We were in the 80s yesterday. We're expected to hit near 90 for this afternoon with the help of those southwesterly winds. Now we have a few isolated gusts over towards the east end today, and also some isolated blustery areas up towards Burnett and even north of Mason there. And today, yeah, here's a look across the map. We'll likely be hitting 90 for some of our hill country areas this afternoon. If not here, maybe in the Austin metro, 89 is in the forecast for our afternoon. Of course, as we are tracking dry conditions as well as warm conditions, we'll also be tracking higher wind speeds for this afternoon. Now for the metro, this is going to be about 20 to 25 mile per hour gusts. However, out towards the hill country, we could even see winds gust even higher. So our red flag warning is going to start at noon for the hill country and start at about 4 p.m. for the central areas along the I-35 corridor. So fire danger returns. This is going to be noon today through 9 p.m. today. Strong winds, low humidity, warm temps, and you know we're in that severe drought. So keep remembering that there's no outdoor burning. Plenty of Texas counties here have a burn ban in place as of yesterday, and make sure you know that plan. So as we head into the day today, here's a look at 4 p.m. You know that red flag warning goes into effect at 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. for our hill country areas. You can see just how blustery it's going to get out there. As we head into Thursday, things are going to nod off a bit. We'll see calmer conditions, and we won't be watching as high of fire danger, but I want you guys to be prepared for Friday too, because we are expected to see wind gusts pick up with another cold front that will be moving through the area. You can see that right here for Friday. Extreme fire weather danger re-enters the hill country as well as spans into the I-35 corridor, so we need to watch out for that. There will be some cooler air behind this next cold front that moves in Friday into Saturday. We'll be down to the lower 80s for Saturday, 70s for Sunday, and back to the 80s as we head towards Monday and Tuesday. All right, let's get a check on our live traffic conditions. So we are seeing some slowdowns mainly for Buda as well as Manor and Round Rock, sitting a little bit slow, 35 and 36 miles per hour, 22 for Buda. Let's take a look across the map. We are seeing a couple of crashes and some stalled vehicles out there. Our first crash, that is going to be Loyola Lane and Mill Race Drive heading towards 183 there. Definitely some stop and go if you're headed out towards on the west side. And then down towards the south end of town, we have a lane blockage. That's going to be I-35 northbound, exit 228 William Cannon Drive. Really going to cause some slowdowns in that area. Always slow in that area this time of the morning anyway. We did have one crash on FM 973 and 969 just to the west of State Highway 130 there a little while ago. That has since been cleared, so that is good news. And then we also have a crash that's going to be McKinney Falls Parkway and D. Gabriel Collins Road. As for the rest of us, we do see one crash also Burleson Road 183 there, which is causing some stop and go if you're coming into town there. And then one look out towards the hill country, things seem to be moving on pretty swimmingly.
All right, Grace doing a double duty there for us this morning. I appreciate that. I knew this morning the measles outbreak in West Texas is crossing state lines again. The Texas State Health Department says there are 223 cases now in West Texas. That's a more than 20% increase from Friday. Oklahoma is now recording cases as well. 2 cases in Oklahoma. New Mexico, which had a few cases before, now has 33 cases, all connected to the outbreak in West Texas. Now, the Texas State Health Department says more than 2/3 of those Texas cases are in Gaines County. That is where the outbreak all began. 29 people are still in the hospital. Now, Travis County just has 1 case. It is an unvaccinated child who traveled overseas with their family. But as we've been telling you, the state is not adding that into the case count because health officials say it is not tied to that West Texas outbreak. Now, advocates and doctors with the nonprofit Children at Risk want parents to feel like they can talk to their doctors about MMR vaccines if they are hesitant. Terry Burke is with the Immunization Partnership, and here is her take on it.
None of this has to happen. Misinformation and disinformation campaigns have led to skepticism and outright opposition to vaccinating children, and it just doesn't have to be that way.
Now, for more information about vaccine clinics happening around Central Texas, head to kvue.com/links. It is a 7:13 right now, and for some women diagnosed with so-called stage 0 breast cancer, there's a new approach that could help them avoid surgery and stay healthy. Melissa Adon explains.
A recent COMET trial suggests that surgery may not be necessary for all women with DCIS, precancerous breast cancer, or stage 0 breast cancer. This nationwide study found that for women with low-risk DCIS, close monitoring could be just as safe as surgery. Instead of going under the knife, these women received hormone therapy and regular mammograms to keep a close eye on things. Some chose surgery later if they needed it. After 2 years, they had similar outcomes, but without the side effects and risks of surgery and radiation. This approach is not for women at higher risk of developing more aggressive breast cancer. But it is a promising alternative for some women. If you have a DCIS, it's worth discussing with your doctor. With this Medical Minute, I'm Melissa Adon.
Here's a pretty cool story for you. An Indiana father is calling it a wonderful miracle. Now, he's talking about a car crash, but the miracle is not the crash. This crash left his daughter trapped on the side of a road, but she managed to survive almost a week without food thanks to some life-saving ingenuity. Here's ABC's Lila Moise.
This morning, an Indiana woman's remarkable survival story, spending 6 days trapped in her car, injured after crashing into a ditch.
She was screaming out for help. She could hear cars going by, but they couldn't see her from the road.
41-year-old Brianna Castle was on the way to visit a friend when she fell asleep at the wheel. Her father says she stayed alive by dipping her sweatshirt into the water in that ditch.
And she was using her hoodie and wringing it to get a drink of water, trying to survive. And she was in excruciating pain.
6 long days passed until a man working for a drainage company spotted her car and called his boss, who happens to be the fire chief.
I noticed some dry blood on her forehead. I said, "Ma'am, how long have you been here?" And she said, "I've been here since Wednesday night." And I said, "No, it's today's Tuesday." I said, I think you're confused." She was very conscious, very alert, very aware of how severe her injuries were.
Castle's ordeal comes just as AAA warns about the dangers of drowsy driving this time of year after the beginning of daylight saving time last weekend. AAA estimates 18% of all traffic fatalities can be linked to drowsy driving. Castle's crash was similar to this one, also in Indiana, just over a year ago. Matt Ream was trapped for nearly a week after his truck overturned in a creek. He survived on rainwater until he was found by a fisherman. Castle's family says she has several broken bones and may need surgery, but she is happy to be out of that car. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
My goodness, just a reminder of really what you can do to stay alive. They're all about getting the water, and so glad that young lady is safe. Well, the City of Austin's Spring Festival event operations center is now open. What are we talking about? Talking about South by Southwest, of course. Making sure everybody's safe, the top priority during South by. Inside the center, staff from different city departments come together, like Austin Police, Austin Travis County EMS, the Austin Transportation Department, all working together to make sure things are running smoothly downtown, making sure you are safe. EMS also has a mobile hotspot set up in case of an emergency. Here is Captain Krista Stedman.
We focus on the downtown entertainment districts. That's where we have our patient collection point. That's the field hospital I was talking about. And that's where all of our special response units operate out of, sort of as a...
Now when it comes to traffic, and there's a lot of traffic down there, Cap Metro, Police, and the Transportation Department keep an eye on busy roads, encouraging you, please plan ahead for your route. Of course, a lot of the roads are closed off. There's traffic on the other roads, so just, if you can walk, if you can Uber, if you can bike, it might be a good idea for you. And today is South by Southwest Industry Day. It's a free event at the Austin Convention Center. Each year, hundreds of exhibitors arrive to showcase some of today's most forward-thinking brands and technology. The expo shows how creativity is fueling progress across all industries, from entertainment and health to social impact and more. Now, this event is meticulously curated throughout the year to highlight the brands, the services, the products. It starts at about 2 hours at 9 a.m., goes until 4 p.m. So much cool stuff going on at South by, and again, it wraps up on Saturday. So if you're hanging around and haven't gone yet, you might want to take your chance. Well, here's a question for you. Are we alone in the universe? The question's back in the spotlight after a documentary on aliens premiered at South by this week. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has more on government officials that took part in this documentary.
I have seen with my own eyes non-human craft and non-human beings.
An explosive documentary is setting out to prove aliens are real and the government is covering it up. The new film, The Age of Disclosure, claims to reveal an 80-year cover-up of the existence of non-human intelligent life and a secret war amongst major nations to reverse engineer technology of non-human origin.
You think for a second that they wouldn't consider using it to achieve their ends of domination?
It features more than 30 U.S. officials speaking out on the alleged existence of aliens and UFOs, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
Even presidents have been operating on a need-to-know basis, but that begins to ramp out of control.
The film just premiered at the South by Southwest Film Festival.
Kind of spread like wildfire amongst those who are in the inner circle on this within our government, and they started to realize this is a unique opportunity to bring the truth out.
I think it gave them an opportunity to tell their side of the story, and they had absolutely nothing to gain but public humiliation. I mean, myself, I've lost contributors.
This is the biggest discovery in human history.
Reaction has been mixed. One person posting, "Spreading the word about this topic is the most important story in the history of humanity," but another saying, "Not a single scrap of verifiable evidence has ever been shown." Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
What do you think about it? Are we alone? Let us know what you think. We're going to give you a phone number here just in a little bit. You can text us and let us know if you think we are in fact alone in the universe. And if you've seen this video, let us know too. All right, we're leaving you right now with something to talk about besides just, are we alone? Police in North Texas are taking a new approach in recruitment. Officers taking a friendly jab at another police department, doing it through music videos. Take a look at this. This is awesome.
Wop, 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 wop from the big D. Wop, 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 wop. Now the little D. What you thinking, little D? Aren't you tired every time we open up and fill up when we hire?
Oh my goodness. That is the Fort Worth Police Department on its version of Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. They released this diss track and took a friendly jab at the Dallas PD on recruiting. It all started when Dallas PD put up a hiring billboard near Fort Worth Police Headquarters, and of course they had to do something about it. They decided to record this music video and poke some fun. This video is awesome. Like the dance moves, it's just, if you haven't seen the video, the original video, you gotta watch it because it's so cool. So just like this. According to the news partners in Dallas, they've not sent a rebuttal, Dallas PD, but they said, quote, stay tuned. All right, well, you stay tuned. That's it for Daybreak Plus. Let us know what you want to talk about. I want to hear what you think about the whole alien thing, though. That would be fun. We could go back and forth on this. Text us, seriously, 512-459-9442. And if enough of you text me, we'll have a little back and forth session going on in a couple days right now. But please text me that number, 512-459-9442. What do you think about it? Have you seen the movie at South by or whatever else you want to talk about? That's fine too. You can also message me on social medias, Insta, Facebook, X, at Rob Evans TV. And stick around because Daybreak continues right here on KVUE Plus. Goodbye, everybody, including aliens, if you're out there.